Good evening. 7:26 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Saturday, January 28, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. If you could do me a favor and hit that like button, I would greatly appreciate it. Helps push me through the analytics. And also share this on social media would help get some new people in. I do appreciate the response from everybody, as always. We're going to get into the XRP technical analysis as we're down 0.15% on the flip about 27 minutes ago. Sitting at about 4071 on the day at current time. But before that, I want to go into five reasons why I find XRP to be better than Bitcoin. And it's pretty simplistic. I'll go over that in just a second. And then we'll also look at XLM's chart and DGB's chart, as DGB's hitting a bit of a rough patch here. Even though it's up about 75-80% in the last month and a half, it's starting to find a way, or an area where it's starting to struggle. I think it's only about 50-55 at press time now. Starting to find a little bit of a resistance in here. So is XRP. We're going to have to get into this as well. We haven't broken down or broken out, but what we have found ourselves is a very interesting line of resistance. This is the uptrend we're on, but if we break it into a more personable look, you will be able to see exactly what XRP is looking at right now and the obstacles we have in front of us. With a little bit of bull's help, I still believe we can get up here to this 446 now as we've come across. It started at 442, but as we go up, it's about the 446 level. Still believe that would be a beautiful spot to retest the broken bull flag, but we'll get into that in a minute because I do want to go over the 5 reasons why I personally think, and these are just 5 reasons, I could give you a million, but these are the basic reasons why I think XRP is better than Bitcoin. So the first reason, faster transaction times. XRP transactions can be completed in just a second, and we all know Bitcoin can take forever. Like, I've done Bitcoin where it takes 30-40 minutes. If you're lucky, it'll take at least minimum 10 minutes, but typically it's a lot more than just 10 minutes. We all know that XRP has lower transaction fees. XRP transaction fees are typically much lower than those for Bitcoin. And if you know, transferring Bitcoin can actually cost a little bit of money. Surprisingly, if you are used to using the XRP ledger, you're not used to all the high fees, as it's a fraction of a penny. Higher scalability. XRP can handle a higher number of transactions per second than Bitcoin, which makes it better for business. Enterprise use cases. XRP is specifically designed to be used by financial institutions and businesses, whereas Bitcoin is primarily used as a digital currency for individuals. Huge difference, especially if you're looking for future use and where XRP could be in the future compared to Bitcoin. If Bitcoin's made for digital currency for individuals and XRP specifically designed for financial institutions and businesses, I don't need to tell you, but the smart money's where the institutional investors are, and it sounds a hell of a lot more likely they're going to invest in XRP going forward than Bitcoin. You couldn't pay me to invest in Bitcoin. RippleNet. XRP is the native currency of RippleNet, a global payment network that facilitates cross-border transactions for financial institutions. Bitcoin does not have a similar network or ecosystem. So basically, for all intents and purposes, Bitcoin is just the starter of all this. Bitcoin is basically what AOL Internet was back in the day, if you remember. Or what AOL Instant Messenger or Yahoo Messenger is compared to text messaging. That's like primitive social media was AOL. Now we have what we have. That's the same thing with Bitcoin. I mean, come on. Can we get off Bitcoin already? Even if Bitcoin were to go down to 10,000 and somehow it got to 100,000, that's a 10x. Could you imagine where XRP was if Bitcoin was at 100,000? I can guarantee you're doing more than a 10x. And if you didn't, XRP would be in a boatload of trouble because a lot of other ISO coins would tear it apart. And I don't imagine XRP would go down without a fight. So what we're looking at here is this continuation pattern that we've talked about the better part of the last couple days, since about last Sunday, so about 6 days now. We had the first hit of support here, resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance. It's followed it perfectly. We diagnosed it very early on. This can be constituted as the right shoulder if it doesn't pass above it. If it does, we can have an overextension up to about 4195 area, 419 we can call it. You break above that and hold, then you can run up to the 442. You have the 432 resistance, which can be a very key level. So obviously pay attention to that. But that's what we have with XRP. And until we break up or down, we can't really do much. This is the pattern formation. And I can't change it. You can't change it. All we can do is be patient and let the market cycle, continue on. So that's what I'm looking at for XRP. And in the near future, we're going to be talking about the buyback plan. Is I already own XRP in a variety of ways, whether through rewards, through donations, through the small purchases of my Uphold card, because I get $50 a month in rewards for XRP that automatically get purchased, and then I get $50 a month also in cash, and I've been using that for the last 6 months to buy XRP anywhere from 29 to 41. But I'm going to start showing everybody in the community how to buy XRP, and I'm going to buy probably 1,000 XRP in the coming days, so pay attention to all the updates, but live on the air, show you exactly where I buy it so that you don't have to pay spot fees. And I have I have 4,000 XRP that has been adding up doing this strategy. I still have 3,500 liquid, but I'm going to show you my strategy of if we buy XRP, how you have to continue to work hard outside of it and continue to keep that funds liquid. So if you spend $200, it's going to be your job in the next week or two before you make another purchase to refund that $200. So you always have that liquid cash until we get to the bottom. But we have to pay attention to the actual pattern at hand and see what's going to happen forward. So pay attention to each and every update. And I appreciate the almost 200 people that voted in the poll. So I got a better idea where your heads are. We can't just start at sub 20 cents. That's not the right business move. You can't just make your first purchase sub 20 cents and think you're going to live to tell about it. Because you've got a lot of other cryptos. You've got a lot of building into XRP. And no smart institution or wise investor has ever just put in at one level and thought that was just going to be okay. So we've got to find a spot. I've got to find a spot where I decide to show you the first time. The price is still cheap at 79% down from the 2021 break point when we had the $1.98 spike. So we have to take it for what it's worth. I used to talk about, and I'll continue to talk about more in the future, instead of buying XRP 10,000 shares for back then $16,600. Right now you can buy it for $4,000, $4,100. So if you buy 1,000, it's roughly $409. Compared to back then, it would have been $16,600. So again, we're talking pennies on the dollar compared to what it was then. You're paying 20 cents on the dollar right now. So we get a base model. I have my base prices. We'll get a base price together as a group, and then every time it goes down below that by a certain percentage, you buy more. Every time we have a slip up and the bears come back out, you buy more. But you got to have a base price. You can't just start from zero, because the bottom line is I've already got my DGB and some ZIL, but we've got to find a ladder for us to do it as a team on XRP, and I'm going to continue to try to get your input within polls and things like that in the YouTube community so that we can figure it out. XLM, we got a giant pattern forming, and it's just, we haven't really broke out of anywhere. I mean, we've been stuck just like XRP, and for all intents and purposes, there's no reason for me to even rewrite this. We could write one more line here that could maybe give us a little more of a short-term look on it, like, oh, we're in this kind of like uptrending resistance, uptrending support, see what breaks first kind of thing. But we really need to break that 9.9 level for XLM to continue on this run. And then we could maybe have some higher ambitions. And this would, you overextend this out like I always teach you. And then that can bring you out to here. And then your next resistance over 9.9 could be around 10.2. We'd have to break that uptrending support here. That again, we'll pull it out. Get something like that. And then you'll see how it'll eventually tighten up. But right now the uptrending support is right around the 9.2 level, and then it'll come down to about the 8.87 if we broke down. And it'd be a lot farther than that if we continued to break down. But and just the current times, that's just the easiest way to put it without putting too much stock into the charts. And this is really where you want to stay above. If you're looking at XLM, you're looking to stay above this 8.1. So you stay outside of this descending triangle. So that's what we're looking at. And then DGB. Let's let this load real quick. But DGB's having a hell of a run. Hell of a run. I didn't even get DGB at its cheapest when it was at 6.15. I thought I did pretty good around the 6.3 level. I could have got it cheaper too. I mean, it's had a spectacular run. It's already broke out of the uptrending resistance. And right now we need to hold the 103 approximately, 1029. As long as we hold that, we do have higher ambitions up here to come to about it's about the 1-2 level, 1191. So that's what DGB is looking at firmly. And we'll get into the longer scale patterns with DGB and XLM. It's just DGB's got to break this major uptrending resistance that's gone back quite some time before we can even have any further ambitions for DGB. It's just that's the way it goes. I don't make the rules, but DGB is trying to rewrite the rules here. So, let me get back into a shorter time frame. But that's what I'm looking at for DGB. I really am. That's what I'm seeing. And then let's look at the other DGB chart real quick. Other than that, though, that's what I got for you in this update. Let me know what you think. You see this pivot line right here at 1079 can play a big factor. As DGB's bouncing around here, it hasn't been able to stay above. And then you can see underneath that the 989, 00989. So hopefully this update helped. Let me know if you appreciated it. If you got any value out of it, hit that subscribe button. Consider joining Tom's Army. If you want to use the exchanges I use, video description below. MEXC can buy, sell, no spot fees. Leverage trade on BitGet, you can do the same thing, but if you're a new user, you got to use the VPN. Uphold, I like to store my liquid cash because I trust them the most. Stay blessed, everybody.